Hey guys, this is Black Woman 7 here, and today we'll be going over our PFA Week 10 battle as we're up against our supposed rival slash guy we battled in finals last season, Epic Lows. We actually battled him 2 times in finals. One in PFA season 3, and one in PFA season, I believe, 8. I guess, and we battled both times. Fun fact, I think the first one was like at the best of like 3, so and on card, and both of those games like lasted like 2 hours, like combined. Well, not combined, like between the 2 games, it lasted like the full hour. So like we were able to finish the battle, by the way. So keep in mind. Well, not one of them, but you get what I mean. Like it was like very long. So and the other one. Well, it was on Showdown, and it's on my channel if you guys want to watch it. So I might link it down in the description, or just maybe like have like an annotation somewhere, where I have battle him. So yeah. So this season, Epic has honestly like he has quite a very capable team. I'm not gonna lie, especially for like him being a very crafty a battler. Like I always think that of all the people I battled in like Draft League, he's probably the one that could probably get in my head. So yeah, maybe because I let him get in my head. So that's already bad in of itself. So anyways, he has a Porygon 2, a Thundurus, Escadrille, Charizard X, Blastoise, and Celebi. So he has 3 possible removals for hazards. Obviously, like that's a Charizard X. And Charizard X with the setup is pretty bad versus me, so I have some precautions. Don't worry. So I have a defensive Suicune. Well, that's not gonna help me. So well, let's just get into it. So I have rocks on my Nidoking with Toxic. Toxic on my Rotom with Foul Play in case Charvex or Drill wants to set up. I also have Volt Switch just to pivot out and like keep mons and whatnot. So I have a Gallade with bulk up plus I believe 3 attacks. As you'll see, I think in this game, Suicune has Surf plus Signal Beam with Sub Combine, and Sylveon is Hyper Voice Eric set. I think it's very like especially defensive just to take on Thundurus because Thundurus can actually be pretty scary if you think about it. So yeah. So, anyways, already this is already kind of a weird matchup, or since leading is already a pain in the ass. He could just lead Charex, or he could lead Thundurus, so or Celebi. Like he has actually 5 different leads if he wants to go for it. So to be honest, I just go for my best option. I just go for Gallade because Gallade offers the most options for offensive like capabilities, because of its coverage and whatnot. Here I decide, you know what? I do have knockoff, Poison Jab, and Drain Punch and Bulk Up, but the thing is, I'm just debating what the Celebi's gonna do, and I kind of make a dumb play here. Instead of going for knockoff, I actually go for Poison Jab, just for trying to get the poison. But you're gonna see that not going for the knockoff is already dumb because I would have removed this thing's item and done extra. So Reinhardt's just there to stay. So I have to go to Sylveon, and he just capitalizes this and just go for Sludge Wave. He's just gonna predict that pretty easily. So I'll have no choice, and he kind of can abuse this. And this Thundurus unfortunately has a lot of coverage options versus my entire team, so I kind of have to be very careful what this thing has. So whether it's Hidden Power Ice, Psychic, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Flying, even for Gallade. So that's probably one reason why I switched out, because I just knew that could be a thing. I go for Wish here onto the Escadrille, and obviously I just go for Protect to see what he's doing. And we're able to take that, well, because we just protected. Here we go for Suicune, and unfortunately for us, we get critted. And to be honest, I kind of get annoyed here because that means we should have been able to take an extra Earthquake from Drill, but it's whatever. Here I just go for Surf, but he just goes for Celebi. I just went for it just thinking he might stay in, go for Rocks maybe. But of course he goes to Celebi, so now I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I gotta get back in this game somehow. So I just kind of like throw in Suicune here as he goes for Signal Beam. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just do 6-9 damage. Oh, nice right there. So, and yeah, I just do a chunk to Celebrate there. So, thankfully, this thing is forced to go for either recover or just has to, do something else. So at least we can like take advantage of switching out. So he actually goes to Thundurus here as we go to Sylveon. Now this is actually this is kind of favorable in my position because at least we get the double switch. So, and now I could just maybe go for the Hyper Voice here as I do a lot of damage. However, turns out Thundurus has the Figgy Berry, but gets confused because, fun fact, if you have a minus, like this is something I noticed that people like even in singles like make this mistake a lot. Where like if you have a minus, if you don't use the correct berry, you could get confused, and like Figgy Berry, if you're minus attack, don't use it Figgy Berry at all. You have to use the other berry or for berries. If you're Ipapa, I believe you can use minus defense, like a Lonely Nature. And if you're like Wiki, you can't use like Modest or something. I don't know. It's like it can't be like minus. If an Anim Pokemon can't use Wiki Berry, Modest can't run Figgy. You get the idea. So pretty much, Thundurus is confused. Honestly, this thing should have been dead by now, and it shouldn't have paralyzed me. Well, it could have, but whatever. I have to take the Future Sight damage, but it's whatever. So here goes the drill, as I just go for Hyper Voice, and that does a little bit. Now, me in the past, I'm just saying, me in the past, I didn't know this was actually AV, but I realize this now compared to like then, and this is gonna come into play later. So here I just go to Rotom because there's nothing else I could switch into, and I just hope he doesn't go for EQ because Mold Breaker EQ just breaks through this Rotom or Motomose thing pretty easily. So here I'm forced to go for a Foul Play, as Thundurus just comes in and eats that up pretty well. So I'm like, oh wow, this is just like bulky Thundurus. T-Wave spreading Thundurus. And I'm like, I have to switch out here and risk him being like Empower Ice. And unfortunately he is, so I do take some chip damage there. But thankfully it doesn't do that much, so since we know it's full moveset now, I don't think it has like Nasty Plot, so it has to have Thunderbolt. So here I just go for Rocks, I believe. And I believe I stay in here and just take my Guava Berry, not get confused, and just go for the Toxic. Oh, by the way, this battle happened around the time when Sans got confirmed in Smash Bros. So yeah, Sans is a Smash. So I'm just gonna put like just a fun fact. I'll probably just put I'll just probably like for the thumbnail, like if I ever like get to it, I'll just put Sans in there. That'll be funny as a joke. Like Epic, I would have posted that as see what Epic's reaction is gonna be. So I get paralyzed there, but I thankfully get the recovery. So he goes for Future Sight and goes for Giga Drain, trying to recover off damage. But he is Life Orb, as we've seen. I finally just go for Heal Bow because I'm kind of tired of getting paralyzed. He goes for U-Turn, as this pretty much gives him a free sack now, unfortunately. So as I go for the Hyper Voice, and Drill is not going down. And honestly, if at this point I should have started clicking myself this is AV, but here like at this point I'm just like, damn, I don't know what to do because I kind of need a Sylveon here. So here I kind of make a desperate play and just go for Wish, but he actually catches me and just goes for the Iron Head, so it's like bad right there. So here I go to Gallade, try to pressure him, but unfortunately he goes to Celebi to sack, and I reveal Drain Punch. Now Thundurus is still around, and I'm like, oh man, like this thing can pressure me with Thunderbolt or T-Wave. So here I go to Nidoqueen, he goes for the T-Wave, and I'm like, alright, you could go kill me. So here, unfortunately, I don't capitalize on this, as I'm pretty much gonna go for the Fletch Wave here, and this is where it comes down to it, where I pretty much forget that, or not forget, but I just don't think of it at all that he's AE, and I'm like, oh wow, he's taking this pretty well. And at this point, I kind of have to sack another Pokemon, and I kind of need Nidoking to poison Porygon if that comes down to it. So yeah, I have to sack the Suicune because against Char X, it's set up fodder. So I have to sack it. So at this point, I have to go for like a Drain Punch. I actually do a lot to this Blastoise, and I could just go for a double Drain Punch, knock this thing out, and he goes to Prometheus. And at this point, I'm like, well, this is like worst case scenario for Gallade right now because I don't want to deal with Char X. The idea was try to get up, bulk up, and maybe like rocks up to chip this thing down. But unfortunately, we're up against Char X. So regardless, we have to go for the bulk up now. If he goes for SD or Dragon Dance, we have to take the hit or just chip it down. He actually goes for another option, which is Tailwind. So I'm like thinking to myself, okay, he's not set up or if his offensive stats. Or he could be with SD, which is just as scary. So he could just probably sweep me right here if he gets the chance. So now I'm like thinking to myself, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Do I just attack what's in front of me or just go for another bulk up? And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, if he's gonna Flare Blitz me or Dragon Claw or just set up an SD, I might as well just go for an attack. I know it sounds stupid, but here's the thing. I do have Scarf Chomp in the back, and with Scarf Chomp, like, I can still win this game. But of course, I have to, like, get into good positioning. Because, of course, like, I can Dragon Claw everything. As long as, like, P2 is, like, dealt with, so. And, to be honest, like, this is also my only other bond to take on P2, so. Still, like, the way this is going, this is pretty bad. So it comes down to what his moveset is really. Because if he's SD and Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz, and Tailwind, sorry, excuse me. Um, basically he could just like win the game from here. So yeah. So we'll just see what happens. Here he actually goes to Porygon 2, and yeah. like I know, I just like a lot of things just happened right there. Honestly, like obviously that was a joke. But the thing is, I think what Epic was trying to anticipate me was go for the bulk up because the way like the Porygon 2 just dropped, like that was probably offensive speedy Porygon 2 with maybe choice specs. Like I know that sounds weird, but he occasionally runs that set. So I'm like, whoa, or something weird with Porygon 2. So yeah. So here he goes for Thunderbolt. As at this point, I got rid of Porygon 2, so I don't want to deal with Thundurus anymore. So now Charex just go for the Blare Blitz, but at this point the game's over because we just have Chomp, and Chomp can just kill everything, and with just EQ. So we're just not gonna like we're not gonna like get rid of we're just gonna get rid of these guys. So yeah, that's gonna be the game. So just going back to the turn regarding the Porygon 2, like I was talking with Epic about what happened there, and he said that he wanted to go for the bulk up read on my end. So it was kind of a weird 50-50 because like if I bulked up and he switched into P2, then I have no switches to like to basically like a specs a download specs boosted hyper beam or tri attack, and honestly I don't really have a switching for that. Like Garchomp can probably like two shot it if I get chip damage, but everything else on my team is pretty weakened, and obviously everything activates like download special attack, so that's pretty bad. So, and not only that, Rotom doesn't really do anything to Charex. Charex just Flare Blitzes it down. Nidoqueen is already low HP, so yeah, the way I played this was kind of bad if you think about it, because the way I don't think I could have like if he actually like played it out, like blow for blow, I think he could have won. But the fact that he just went for the hard read, just like kind of made it the end game for me a lot easier. So yeah, he did have some really like this was a very hyper offensive team on Epic's end, by the way. So if you think about it, like he brought Life Orb Celebi, he brought I don't know what he brought as Blastoise. It's just a Blastoise. Thundurus was like pretty much like Thunder Wave. Oregon was it wasn't a Violet, it was Choice Specs. And Charizard is Tailwind, which is a very fun set. I use sometimes here and there, but yeah, like anyways, that's all I have for today. Um, that's pretty much it for like week 10. Like GG's to Epic. That was a very close game. Think about it. It could have just gone either way. It was pretty much came down to that 50-50 if you think about it. So anyways, I'm kind of like dragging this out, so there's not really much to say. So tomorrow or next week or tomorrow if I record, it's the last battle. So be sure to look forward for that. So we are actually like 9-1 now, so we should secure the first seed. So anyway, regardless, unless like my opponent, the second place guy, like gets a lot of wins, differentials and whatnot. So, but even then, this is still like kind of a semi for fun league. So it'll be fun to see, or an idea. Good, it'll be weird, or no. We'll see who gets the first place, whether it be me or Win, since we're kind of having a mini competition there. So, anyways, yeah.